Then, yes, I see what you're doing.
But what happened to now?
Well, now is now.
But what happened to then?
Better?
Hey, that was close-ish.
It's ish.
Thanks everybody for finding the Geek Spot. As always, pleasure to hang out with you on a Monday night.
Pleasure.
Jack and Frank back talking about all the things that we've watched and haven't watched and may think about watching someday, and saying hi to people that joined us in the chat, like Charles. Always first in the chat. Great to see you as always.
Hey, buddy. How was your weekend, Jack?
It was busy. Every weekend's busy.
What was mine?
I had a couple gigs, had a bunch of stuff I was running the kids around. I was out of town for work for a few days last week.
Yes, I remember that.
Down in Georgia. Watched some football.
Were you in
over the
hot
weekend.
Atlanta?
I was. I didn't see any of it. I was in an airport and an office and back to an airport.
Oh, right.
Almost missed my flight home, so that was cool. Apparently TSA pre-check not as fast as it's supposed to be.
No?
No. So I was slightly behind. I did not hit the 2-hour time limit before your flight takes off that I was supposed to get to. So I got to the airport at around 4:30 for a 5:30 takeoff.
Oh.
Well, actually 4:15. And then it took 35 minutes to get through pre-check.
Oh.
So then by the time I made it to my gate, it was like 5:15 for a 5:30 flight, and they had already closed the doors and locked everything down and said no. And I said, well, hey, look. So is the seat still there? And they said, yeah. I said, well, look, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So if you don't mind, just can we figure out if we can get me on that plane? And they called over and they did. And so then I snuck on, but had to get them to open the gate and walk me back down the ramp. Luckily, the plane had not shut its door all the way yet.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's kind of eventful.
So I made it home just in time to catch the second half of one of my kids' football games. So.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was good, but yeah, busy. Watch some things.
Way more eventful than mine.
Yeah, like I said, watch some stuff. We'll talk about some of that in a bit.
Yeah.
How about you? How was your big weekend?
I had a rough weekend, really.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had a hockey game Friday night. So I joined an over 50 league. Now you would think over 50, it's a bunch of older guys, not real. Yeah, no. There's a lot more running in this than I remembered. And I play a little bit semi-regularly.
So wait, hold on. Mm-hmm. So running, you said. So is this a street hockey league?
It's yes. Okay. I never played on skates. I never played on ice. It's deck hockey.
I thought that all these years that I've been hearing you talk about playing hockey, I thought that you were on ice, not.
Oh no,
not pulling a Kevin Smith on top of the convenience store, the quick stop, running around.
Okay. I got pads on my legs and elbow pads and a hat I wear backwards because that's my helmet, and a stick and gloves, real stuff.
Got it.
No, it's running.
That sounds awful.
Yeah,
I mean, so does skating, but
usually I'm in an over 40 league, and then like in a normal team, and the over 40 league they kind of they lower it to like 37 to get guys in, and it's pretty competitive. And then they started an over 50 league, and they lowered it to 47 to let some people in, and it's more competitive than I expected it to be. Yeah. So I came home Friday and was wiped. It was a 7:40 game. I came home and I was asleep by 11.
Wow.
Right? Nothing watched Friday night. Saturday, I got up and I did a little gardening out front, pulled the grass out of the little garden, did the edges, and was still incredibly wiped and went back to sleep. And woke up and went over to Angie's, and we did a little rock band karaoke for the evening.
Yeah.
And we probably killed the full gallon of vodka.
Okay. That sounds exciting.
It was. I was very good as always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had good singing chops. And then Sunday, I was a puddle.
That's I've known
It's
you long enough to know that was the expected response. Somehow that stops you from
yes,
having a TV on, which is what
yes.
I don't understand, but
So
that's fine.
so as we get around to the I watched nothing. I didn't watch the Wheel of Time
Yep.
episode for this week. I didn't watch Winning Time, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes, that I normally watch.
Yeah.
I didn't watch anything old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I didn't rewatch anything.
Yeah.
Um,
How's Starfield? Did you beat that yet?
no, it's unbeatable. But
Oh, that
no,
is
actually,
sounds
there was
sounds
a
great.
to make a long story short, there was a glitch in Destiny that allowed you to craft guns and make them super overpowerful with ways that they shouldn't be possible to be crafted. So we spent a lot of time doing that and beating things that we wouldn't normally beat. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
um, so I was a puddle on Sunday and literally I didn't watch. Every time I sat down and turned the TV on to watch something, I was like, I can't focus and get through this.
Oh, good. Good, good.
So I apologize for the promise I made. I had every intention on watching Indiana Jones. I
Yeah.
started it 3 or 4 different times, got the credits, and I was like, "I just can't do that. I can't focus right now."
I mean, you didn't miss much, but yeah, and I mean, look, and Barbie dropped digital too, so we're gonna have to talk about that soon. That's added to your list.
This week, I have nothing going on until Friday.
Got
I
it.
have a show to watch on Tuesday. I have 2 shows to catch up on. I don't even think I watched Billions this week.
Oh,
Like, I don't even remember if I watched Billions this week. Because that's a show that you kinda have to concentrate and focus on, like, the actual, uh, dialogue.
you do. Yeah, it's an intense show.
It is. So, I apologize, for not watching the Indiana Jones movie that I actually really, really promised I was gonna watch.
Yeah, I feel like I owe Dom money.
You might owe Dom money on that. Um, Thankfully, there were no Eagles games to watch on Sunday because I would have not made it through. I napped 5 times on Sunday.
That's
I
excessive.
I took 5 half-hour naps.
So I do see in the chat, Charles is talking about Chiodo Khan. Are you familiar with the Chiodo brothers?
I am not.
Okay, and John Masari. So it looks like the Chiodo brothers. I'm not familiar with them either, but they are a trio of siblings, special effects artists specializing in clay modeling, creature creation, stop motion, and animatronics,
Oh,
which sounds
this
pretty
is cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Team America, World Police, Critters, the Large Marge scene was them from Pee
Oh,
Wee's Big Adventure. So some pretty cool stuff there. So
yeah,
that
that sounds
sounds
really
exciting,
awesome.
Charles. Charles gets to go to a lot of cool stuff out on the western side
Yeah, he does.
of the state. And John Massari too, who looks like is the composer for Killer Clowns from Outer Space and multiple other horror genre things. Uh that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
Uh and then we do have some other questions which I don't know if we're getting to, I would assume we'll get to this later. Thoughts about the Lion King
Um,
recap coming up next year. I'm not
I'm
sure
not
what that
I
is. We can look that up as we go though,
yeah.
and see where that's
I
at, and then
Aren't they doing a live action Lion King or something?
they did they
They
did
did
one.
Real
Yeah,
Lion?
yeah, they did one. And then Don points out that 5 half-hour naps could have been a whole movie, bud.
Or his earlier comment of how ironic is I'm complaining about running while wearing a Flash shirt. Thank you for pointing that out, Dom. Really happy. Um, we had a couple of we had to take a 1-minute sports break. The Eagles won and looked not good. Uh, the Eagles are 2-0, but I am not a confident Eagles 2-0 fan right now. I mean, I'll take the winning record, I'll take the 2-0, but they do not look like the team that went to the Super Bowl last year at all right now.
No, they're still pretty sloppy.
They're
Look, the Ravens haven't been great yet either.
no.
Um, I'm wondering if the Lion King question there is a Mufasa the Lion King prequel
Oh.
coming out, but that's all that I really see about it. So, We'll see how that goes.
I am losing in both of my football leagues. I'm getting destroyed in Dom's football league. I had a semi chance, and then all of a sudden, the Giants down 20-0 at halftime
Yeah.
decided they wanted to play football in the NFL again, and hell of a comeback, hell of a comeback.
Yeah, they had a great game. Look, I'm undefeated right now in my fantasy,
I-
and I didn't even have my starting running back. I didn't realize he was out,
I'm
and I still won by like we'll see after tonight how many points.
I mean, I have a 1% chance to win tonight according to ESPN.
That's great.
Um, so I'll be 1-1 in that league, and I'm 0-2 in my work league, because the combination I drafted of Joe Burrows and Jamar Chase was supposed to light the league up.
Ooh, yeah.
Joe Burrows is doing exactly what I thought he was going to do after signing that contract. He's not really interested in playing football right now.
No, he's busy spending money.
Yes, which
Um, yeah, this is my first year doing that ESPN app. I'm not a fan.
I like it because I'm used to it. It's just that it's different from Yahoo. It takes some getting used to.
I like Yahoo a
So,
thousand times better. It's much easier
I
to work with.
Yeah. Now, the only other football thing I have is my knockout pool, my knockout league in work, where you pick the pick a team every
Yeah.
week. You can't pick the same team again. I picked the Bills, so I'll be 2-0 in that.
Okay. Well,
That's
nice
good.
work.
Yeah. But that's our sports moment. Look at that.
Yeah, it was good. It
We
was
do
good.
everything. Hey, Dylan, how are you? Um, so there's a lot of Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore. Let's just go there.
Yeah, yeah. This continues to get updated. Ooh.
I
We'll chat more Disney stuff in a few minutes. Let's
Yeah,
hit Drew.
I saw the announcement that Drew made that she was going to start her show. She's going to have her show's premiere, and she did film the premiere. I
She
think
did.
I don't know if we mentioned it last week or not. That
Briefly, there was a few WGA pins that showed up that they were escorted back out.
And then allegedly they were looking through bags and removing any WGA material or not
Yeah,
letting people in with it.
it's fair.
She got a lot of blowback. I read a lot of the comments on a lot of the different pages, and they were very unkind to her, uh,
Yeah.
in what she was doing. And then she said she was going to stand firm, and she believed in it, and she was going to stick with it. And then she walked it back, apologized, um, and said, "No, we're not going to film the show after all. We're not going to do it."
So and look, and I think that's tricky. And I talked about, I did bring it up for this reason last week too. Like, so you have what the late night hosts are doing. Their Strike Force 5 podcast with all the sponsors and everything, which is way more fun than it should be, honestly. But it's enjoyable. But they are doing that to pay their staffs because they've been paying their
Right,
staff the entire time, and that is not just their writers. They've been paying their writers and all of their crew, which is
right,
200 plus for each one of them.
right.
Um, Now, Drew Barrymore, I don't think that was going on her show. So I believe, besides the writers, which there was only 3 WGA writers employed by the show, she wanted to get everybody else on the show earning an income again.
Which I'm okay with that. Look, I don't work in Hollywood. We don't get paid. We're not part of any unions like that.
This is
So
why we can talk about struck work. You
correct.
know,
I know they're going back to the table on Wednesday of this week as so it's 18, 19, the 20th of
Mhm.
September. They're going to go back to the table, and I hope it gets resolved because it helps us. And I'd like to see, I like to see that all resolved and stuff start coming out again. Um, Otherwise, we're left with, the trailer that we're going to talk about later that I just have.
And oh, you found time to watch that though? That's good.
Yeah, I watched it at work.
And Drew Barrymore. We got to talk about Drew Barrymore and her show, where she interviews celebrities that can't talk about any work that they've done. I'm
Well,
sure it would have been very exciting to watch.
yeah, and she was supposed to host some book thing, like she was supposed to host this thing for this national book something or other, and they kind of rescinded her invitation after she decided to go on with
Yeah,
it.
well, and so the interesting part though, right, is like Kelly Clarkson's going back. No backlash.
Right.
Um, there's another show, daytime show. I think Jennifer Hudson's show is
And,
also going back.
no, not Jennifer Hudson. Oh, I forget her name. There's another daytime show that's going back too.
Got it. And there's also Bill Maher, who is now going back.
Not Wendy Williams.
And Bill Maher has stated that he's going to go back, but they're not going to have any of his written segments, just the interview. So it'll basically just be politically incorrect.
But yeah, I mean, I guess the politics is really the only thing they're going to talk about with the election coming up. So, in a year,
Yeah, yeah. Well, year and some change.
year,
Yeah, I guess we are closing in
but
on a year.
I now, do you think so? I don't know. It was the National Book Awards. She was going to be the host of.
Got it. I mean,
Uh,
she stepped away from the VMAs.
yes.
She was supposed to host that and said no in solidarity until I really believe, and I don't know her obviously, but from everything in her public persona, I really feel like Drew is doing it to get the rest of her staff paid. Not that she couldn't afford to pay it out of her own pocket, because I would assume she has some money after all these years, unless all of her divorces have taken that away from her.
Or the end of drugs.
Yeah, but she's been clean for a few years and done a few things since then. But I don't know what daytime salary is versus late night salary either. So, I really believe that she just wanted to get her staff paid.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other. If she went back to, I didn't watch it because I
Or
worked.
she was really bored and really likes doing it.
Maybe, but I don't know. It sucks. I hate seeing people cross the picket line because but I don't know. I don't have that much of an opinion on it.
Got it.
I do have an opinion on what Sylvester Stallone said about a Rambo 6.
Oh dear God.
Are you ready for this?
Hold on. Did you see Rambo 5?
No,
Okay.
no. You're gonna like this answer.
Yeah.
You really are. The question was there are calls for him to do another one, but the 77-year-old actor jokingly posed the question, Rambo, I could leave him. He's done pretty much, even though they want to do another one, but what am I fighting? Arthritis? He's
Fair.
done. He's done. He said he's done.
Yeah.
They put the story of Rambo to bed. He's 77. He's done.
We'll see what happens.
I'll take him in a Rocky movie, though. I'll take him in another Rocky.
Yeah, look, I'm good with. I did not see Creed 3 yet, but I'm good with where he ended up in the Creed franchise.
You don't need to.
Yeah, I've heard,
You don't
but
need
like I'm good with where he ended up in that franchise. I feel like his storyline got kind of wrapped. He got his redemption arc as now being the Mickey character, and I think it's good. We don't need any more of
I
what's he gonna. He's not gonna fight. I
well,
mean,
is he?
what are you gonna do? Have him fight
Yeah,
the robot?
maybe.
No, he's
Yeah, you
not
cut the
fighting.
robot out of the movie. Why? That would be a good thing.
He's not. He's not fighting.
The robot
Unless
comes back to seek revenge.
do you get him with the de-aging like we got? Oh, you didn't watch Dial of Destiny, so we can't talk about it. That's right.
Um,
I had to. That was the one shot.
no, keep going. Keep going. Um, Taylor Swift.
Ooh, Travis Kelsey's Bay, as they call her on the streets.
You know what? Good for him. Good for him.
Look, he shot his shot and apparently didn't even have to, and still got the call.
Did you watch the Kelsey documentary yet?
Not yet.
Have tissues.
Good to know. I heard all about it on New Heights last week, but I did not get a chance to watch it yet.
So her pre-sales are already surpassing 65 million and projected to gross 100 million in the pre-sales.
Okay.
Uh,
Is where's that rank?
so that would dwarf the 60 million for Doctor Strange and the Boring Verse of Madness, 42 million for Matt Reeves, the Batman, but she's still quite a bit away, but not so much from No Way Home, which brought in 120 in pre-sales.
So how familiar are you with how they're rolling it out, though? Because I believe it's very different.
And I'm not as familiar with that. I did not, as I sometimes do, not read articles, just get the highlights from them.
Because I feel like hers is like weekends,
Right.
and it's not airing as much as a regular movie, I don't believe.
No, and I would, in some cases, I wouldn't mind going to see something like that just to see it, but Having worked in an industry for 25 years where I was in and around music on a nightly basis and crowded bars and sometimes some very not crowded bars and some I can't imagine being in a movie theater with a couple hundred screaming Swifties.
So I will say for Friday, October 13th at our local cinema,
Uh-huh.
uh, it is a 7:30 in IMAX with laser, a 6 and a 9:30 in Dolby Cinema,
Whew.
a 10:45 open caption, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 regular showings between 6:15 and 10:30,
Holy
all on
sh
October 15th, 13th.
wow.
So that is just the one day at one theater
Wow.
is how many times that's airing. Now, I don't know how much it continues to air.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just it's not gonna be a one-off like a Fathom event kind of
Um,
thing. It'll stay in theaters
like, it
for a
is not airing, like, during the week.
while. Okay, so it
What I
is
was saying earlier, like, it's only airing, I believe, on the weekends. Yes, it is only airing on the weekends.
it's still gonna make it an insane amount of money.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it looks like it's only airing Friday. Hold on, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I did not know we were going to hit this, so I was not prepared.
Neither
But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe it looks like, and then it is back out till the next weekend.
yeah, and Dylan's right, as I'm looking at that now, The Exorcist Believer, Dumb Money, and The Marsh King's Daughter are all moving their October release dates away from this. They were all gonna release on October 13th as well.
Well,
They're moving, The Exorcist got moved up, I don't know about the other 2.
so
Um,
we can safely say less showings. It is also only at AMC, so I don't believe Regal has any of these.
well, that's good because 'cause they're
And
pop
Cinemark. So you lose all those other theaters those other ones can sell tickets to.
right, but they're still gonna like, the amount of shows they're gonna show it on a weekend.
Right, but again, like, we're also usually considering multiple theaters.
Right.
Hold
I
on, never
mean
mind, I lied.
oh,
It
is
is at
it?
Regal, it is at
Wow.
Regal.
Their popcorn still sucks.
But at Regal, they have at the local Regal, they have, 8 showings
So
on
it's
that
gonna
first Friday.
it's still gonna do a lot of money.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh, and jeez, 17 showings on Saturday.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Rumors are also suggesting that Taylor may be collaborating with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and maybe playing a character called the Dazzler in Deadpool 3.
I've heard this, it's just Dazzler, it's not The Dazzler.
I like to say that.
Nope, it's just Dazzler.
It didn't say "the" here either.
Yeah, it's just Dazzler.
Okay.
Even her own solo series back in the day was just Dazzler. So Dazzler is a cool character. She was in uh the last X-Men horrible Phoenix whatever it was
Right.
movie. But just as like a doing party tricks. So the original character was like a disco queen that could shoot
Oh.
that converted sound into lights and could solidify lights and sounds and create those shapes and things with her. But she always wore like headphones so she could play the music to convert the sounds. Um, she was introduced, like I said, like in the mid 70s and had her own run for a little while. And then they made her a mutant. And then she was in the X-Men. Then she was out of the X-Men. Then she popped back in the 80s in like full leotard with the short hair, with the mop coming over and the side and the shaved one side with the headband she used to wear. And she was reinvented, 5 or 6 times after that. I don't know what they've done with her since then, but she would pop in and out of the X-Men lineup and some other lineups over
So
the years.
Taylor would rock this, basically.
She was great at it.
Okay.
It totally suits her personality and her persona. She would do well. And I look, I think everything in Deadpool is going to be crazy multiverse, and they are going to pick and choose what they want to keep after the fact.
Um, do you think that if she's still dating Travis, that she'll find a part for him in her movie?
If you watch Travis's SNL episode, he's great.
He is great. He is.
He's in a few too many commercials right now, like all
Well,
of them.
yeah. You
Um,
gotta capitalize when you're young, dude.
he's not young.
He's not old.
12 years in the league.
Yeah, but still. Capitalize while you're hot.
He is an elder statesman in the NFL because I think he may be one of the oldest tight ends in the league right now.
That's all right. Um,
We did
Or
get that question earlier in the chat. I don't
oh,
wanna forget about though, and
yes.
I'm sure you watched it with your vast watching time. What did you think about The Little Mermaid?
I I had no problem with the casting, which a lot of people seem to have. I just didn't see it. I To be honest with you, I never saw the original. So,
So, as a parent of a 3-year-old, I
yes,
have watched
please.
the original. Can safely say I haven't watched the original all the way through, and I will say that when the original came out, it made me boycott Disney for the next, like, 10 years.
Is it because of the songs?
No, it's because they changed their animation style. And
Oh,
that was the first movie that really leaned into the anime, big eyes, bigger features, and just that different approach where they started doing, um, it's your difference between not Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow
okay.
White, and that phenomenal animation
Right,
style,
right.
that I was a huge fan of, and even through Sword in the Stone, which was later, which was in the '80s, right?
Yep.
To what they did with that new animation style, I was like, I don't like it. It's not
Big fan of Sword in the Stone.
Disney. I'm out. And I stayed out for a long time. I have seen that one multiple times now. It's fine. It's not great. Um, and the new one, the casting is all wonderful. It's great. I mean, look, I will point out that um, Javier Bardem as Triton has 7 daughter mermaids for the 7 seas, and if you see all of them, Daddy Triton got around quite a bit, is what you can tell from all of his
I get it.
daughters.
I get what you're saying.
However, it's not a good movie. Like even it's just it's not a great movie. But at its core, for the people that it's for, I'm sure it's great. My daughter loves them both. She's also 3, but she's the target audience for Little Mermaid and things like that. So I
Right,
think it's great she gets the representation and doesn't have every heroine she sees on screen look the same. So it just raises her in that world where she doesn't have to see the same thing over and over again in cinema. I think that's awesome. But I don't I'm not a fan of the movie. It's not a good movie.
it's not something like I know we joke and I say I'm gonna watch stuff and sometimes I don't watch it.
It would be a little weird if you watched The Little Mermaid at this point in your life.
It's never gonna be on my radar. I have 2 boys. I have 2 sons, both boys, obviously, because I said sons.
Yeah.
So,
No.
yeah, no, it's not in our
Yeah.
sphere.
Yeah.
The Barbie movie,
Yeah, digitally
going strong,
released.
still going strong. It has generated 626,000,000 at the domestic box office, overtaking The Avengers from 2012's 623,000,000 as the 11th highest grossing domestic release in history.
It's still it released digitally over the weekend. It's
Yep.
still number 7 at the box office.
In order to crack the top 10, Barbie has to pass 2015's Jurassic World, which is at number 10 at 653. Uh,
Mm,
Titanic at 9 with 674. Now this is domestic only. This isn't
it's not gonna hit Titanic, I don't think.
It's not gonna hit Titanic. It's not gonna hit Infinity War at 678.
No.
And it's not gonna hit stupid Avatar at number 7 with 684.
No.
None of those sales prices were adjusted for inflation either. That's just what it
Oh,
is.
so
So
adjusted for inflation, it's
more.
way down.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so it's earned 1.4 billion globally.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Pete. It's earned 1.4 billion globally. It just surpassed Super Mario Brothers, which earned 1.35 billion as the biggest worldwide release of 2023. It is the 14th biggest global release of all time, trailing
Alright.
Frozen 2 at 1.4 and Top Gun Maverick at 1.495.
Well, good. I'll probably watch it this week, with the
I Yeah, me too.
wife and daughter and see how it is.
Me too.
You're
Um,
gonna watch it with my wife and daughter too? I don't think they need to see it twice.
no, not with me.
Okay.
So one of my favorite shows that has become one of my favorite shows was
Mm,
canceled after its season 2 finale yesterday Sunday.
yeah, I'm really glad I didn't start watching it last week because I
You may
actually
as well watch
downloaded
it
it to
now.
watch on the plane.
Binge it now. But
Yeah.
Winning Time was the HBO, not so much documentary, but the HBO story of the Showtime Lakers of the 80s. And We talked about it last week a little bit, and I won't go all back into it. The cast was absolutely sensational, top to bottom. I mean, they had so many.
So this is Adrian Brody as Pat Riley, is that right?
Oh my god, he's so good,
Hmm.
and he looks the part as a young Pat Riley, really. And
Isn't he
this
like
is
2 feet too tall to be Pat Riley?
no, this is what's his name? John C. Williams as Dr. Jerry Buss, and the girl that plays Jeannie Buss is great. Jay Moore was in it this week. He was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's agent. Jay Moore just married the real Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, she's great. No, they've been together a long time.
Yeah, well, she was with Phil Jackson before that.
Yeah, I've listened to a few interviews with her. She's a blast.
She is. She says she seems great.
Yeah.
So they just canceled that, which sucks. Because it was really fun. It was a fun
Was there
show.
more story to tell?
Well, they ended it in the mid '80s with a loss to the Celtics in the finals, and then the very next year the Lakers come back to win because I looked it up at the time. I wanted to see where they
But
were.
as a Celtics fan in the '80s, the series should have ended
Oh, sure, it was
for the
great.
Celtics
You
because
got to see Dr. J and the Sixers beat the Lakers. That was great.
I was definitely a Celtics fan back in the
I was
'80s.
not. I don't think I liked basketball back then, even though my dad tried.
Look, watching Bird and Magic was always fun.
The castings for both of them were out of this world. Perfect castings.
Maybe I'll add it to my list. As soon as you watch one thing on your list, I will watch Winning Time the
I
next day.
promise I will watch it this week. um, so Friday night, Pat McAfee was in Boulder, Colorado. Thursday, I think it was, and he was doing his college game day ESPN show.
Okay.
And on his show, he had Dwayne Johnson.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dwayne not pitched, but told the world that there had been plans for him to come back at WrestleMania last year in Hollywood. They
Yeah.
had talked a year before, and he said that certain things got in the way, and basically they didn't know where to take the story from there, so they kind of scrapped the whole thing. Cue Friday Night SmackDown in Denver. Pat McAfee shows up to open the show.
Yeah.
Pat's talking and doing his thing. Austin Theory comes out, does his thing with him. He's another wrestler, by the way.
Sure.
And at that point, they're going back and forth, and Austin Theory's shitting on the crowd and blah blah blah. And this is my show. This is Austin Theory live. And Pat McAfee looked at him and goes, "This isn't your show. This is the people's show, and you know what that means." And there was a dramatic pause, and boom, here's The Rock's music. The Rock comes back to SmackDown for the first time in 4 years. They do a big thing in the middle of the ring. Now there's all these rumors flying around that he's going to be in the main event at WrestleMania in Philadelphia, which I'm going to.
That sounds exciting for you.
I hope not.
Convenient that it all ties back to right after he has multiple movie flops.
Multiple
And needs
movie
to
flops.
reinvigorate his fan base.
Hollywood's on strike. He's got no movies. He can't write nothing.
He's also in a bad look from that Hollywood with his pledging money.
Well,
sorry, this was to Hawaii.
He addressed that on the Mac. I saw a couple clips. And he addressed that on the McAfee show saying, "Hey, I realize that this looks bad. All the money's going to start going tomorrow or next week. Everybody will have their money," or something like that. He's in a total PR spin right now. And it was fun to see him. I didn't watch it live. I watched the clips of it afterwards. It was fun to see him. It was fun to see him interacting with John Cena again. It was nice. I don't need to see him wrestle. I don't need to see him involved any more than he was tonight. Maybe come back and do some like talky stuff, but please don't put any belts on him. Please.
Right. Yeah, that'd be awkward. I mean,
it would be stupid. Okay. I don't have
doesn't Roman need to get through the rest of the former champs to
Roman's not wrestling until November. So he's it. I could spend a whole hour talking about
I'm good. I'm just talking next year when he goes in. Like they're.
Well, technically he won't beat Hulk Hogan, who's the next to beat until like next to end of next year almost or something.
Got it. Okay.
So I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. Um, do you want to go? Do I want to go through this little weird list here of movie plot holes and mistakes and things that don't make sense in movies before we go to some other stuff?
It's up to you, man.
That's up to you.
How about I do a quick hit on Harley Quinn first?
You do that, and then I'll pull up other stuff, and we can save that for another time because that's
Because
pointless.
because we did get the season finale. I thought the season finale was last week. Boy, was I wrong. I thought they were ending on a big cliffhanger.
Okay,
Um,
fire it away.
they did not, but we did get a finale for Harley Quinn. They started off with a nice tribute to the original Harley Quinn, which was lovely that they did, and then they went back to their same old usual shenanigans. You got Harley and Ivy back together finally. It's been really a fun season all around, so I really recommend going back in and watching it. And it looks like we're gonna have some Gotham City sirens introduced at the end, where we're
Oh,
gonna get kind of a new team up going on. Um, the one fun thing, so we have Lake Bell is Poison Ivy in it, who's phenomenal as a voice actress. If you watched What If last time, she was also Black Widow on What If. You probably didn't.
okay, dude, I did see that.
And she was on a show with Dax Shepard where they like bought a farm or some crap.
Did not see.
But she's been in a bunch of Lake Bell is phenomenal. Kaylee Cuoco's Harley Quinn. Uh, I think her name's Brianna Cuoco, who's her little sister, plays Barbara Gordon on the show.
Oh, that's neat.
So the two of them interact a whole bunch now, and then you also have Catwoman is brought in and has been in and out of the show the whole time. So we're finally coalescing into the Gotham City Sirens. Batman's back out of prison, so we're going to get him back next season. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So that show will just continue to run and be raunchy and enjoyable. So that will make it onto at least Frank's list, and it should be the rest of yours too. So you can talk to me about Harley Quinn at some point.
That sounds like something I actually should watch.
It's so much fun, dude.
And we're in what season? 4?
4.
And
I think they're all 10-episode seasons. They're all half-hour episodes.
oh, that's not bad. That might be better than starting Eureka again.
Yes, I agree.
Eureka. No, no.
Sure, there's hot.
Well, since you talked about Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is in the DC universe,
Is it?
ish. There was a trailer that came out.
I saw there was a teaser for a trailer. Yeah.
The whole trailer came out.
Oh.
Yeah. Hard pass. Hard pass.
So obviously you're talking about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
So hard pass, huh?
Hard pass.
Yet nothing about it looks good. I will agree with you there. I was never looking for a buddy movie between Arthur and Orm.
No.
And I'm still not.
Nope.
I think the problem is, and I'm sure I've said this before, when it comes to all of these comic book movies, the problem is, even though we've gotten a multitude of stories in the comics over the years, they keep telling the same 3 stories in every one of these goddamn movies that we've already seen before.
So,
and this feels like it's the same kind of storyline that they have for Deadpool 3.
well, I'll give you the synopsis in a second. Here's a couple of quotes from the director. Here's one on Amber Heard's reduced role.
She was in the trailer so much, though.
Yeah.
Seconds.
He said,
maybe second.
I always pitch this to everyone from the get-go. Good start. The first Aquaman was Arthur and Mira's journey. The second movie was always going to be Arthur and Orm. So the first was a romantic action adventure movie. The second one is a bromance action adventure movie. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't buy that for a second.
I don't buy that for a second either.
Because there's no reason for the two of them to be bros.
Yeah.
Like they're related, but like it's in their relationship is very dark in the comics. Like very dark.
Yeah.
So I get they're gonna reapply that stigma to Black Manta instead in the movie, it seems like, and make another mystical trident that has the same powers as your trident, so it's 2 of the same.
I'll get to that one in a second. You'll like this though.
Yeah.
This is what Batman cameo are we getting in your movie? They asked Entertainment Weekly asked him, and he said, the tricky thing early on was not knowing whether Aquaman would come out first or after The Flash. So we just had to be prepared. At the end of the day, the best thing I would say about this movie is that it is not connected in any way to any of those films. That's the
Great.
bottom line. When asked if either Batman appears in the movie, the director said, "That's a no comment right now. You're gonna have to wait for the movie to come out."
What are the odds we get Clooney Batman in the Aquaman movie and all of the other stuff was red herrings?
I'd say that's about a 40%.
And them just throwing money away
I'm in it.
at Keaton and Affleck just to be like, just to quell the rumors, we're gonna throw some money at you to come to the set for a day or two and wear this costume.
I'm for it. Here's the
Because if it's not Clooney, then this would not be the Aquaman from the end credit scene in The Flash.
correct.
It'd be a different Aquaman.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
All right, and we're still not even the synopsis of the movie yet.
No, this is the synopsis here. Having failed to defeat Aquaman the first time, Black Manta, still driven by the need to avenge his father's death, will stop at nothing to take Aquaman down once and for all. This time, Black Manta is more formidable than ever before, wielding the power of the mythic Black Trident, which unleashes an ancient and malevolent force. To defeat him, Aquaman will turn to his imprisoned brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis, to forge an unlikely alliance. Together, they must set aside their differences in order to protect their kingdom and save Aquaman's family and the world from irreversible destruction. Cue the music.
None of that sounds good.
No.
It'll make a couple dollars, but I at some point DC is going to have to realize that they're going to have to write good stories to put out in their movies for them to make money. Like, look, Blue Beetle still hanging on in there. It's right above or below the Barbie movie this past week. And you know, that not even a great storyline, but like this story just sounds bad, and the trailer looks not great. There's some cool action stuff, I guess. But now I've seen watered done again since Aquaman and Black Panther, and it was fine. But I think we'll quickly realize why Aquaman has never been a top tier hero.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got no desire for this whatsoever. Like none. None. And I'm a big Jason Momoa fan. I really do like him, but I could care less about this movie.
Yeah, I think it's weird that we're getting more Nicole Kidman. And refresh my memory on the first movie. Did William Dafoe's character die in the first movie?
No, there was like an article about why he didn't come back, and I didn't read it.
Oh, well, see, that was one of the best characters out of the first movie. I would have taken that.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit.
Wow, Dom.
Wow,
we gotta throw that on the screen. So bad he totally forgot the trailer dropped. Wow. Yeah, I did too, Dom, to be fair, until Frank brought it up and I was like, oh, I did watch that awful Aquaman trailer.
Yeah.
It's because no other trailers have been dropping because nobody knows when they're going to put out their movies. Though there was a Dune trailer the other week. Dune 2 looks good.
I'll watch Dune 1 when Dune 2 is closer to coming out.
You won't. It's fine.
I'm fresh.
We know. We know.
Oh, I like that kind of shit. That's why I didn't watch Dune 1 yet. Loki, season 2.
Nope, I'm out.
October 5th. Moved up a day. It's going to follow the Ahsoka treatment.
Oh, wait. So what day is it dropping now?
So it's now going to drop October 5th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we get it at 9 o'clock. And it's going to drop every week at 9. Like Ahsoka is.
Dylan did say that he enjoyed the Aquaman trailer. So good on you, Dylan. I hope the next trailer maybe piques my interest a little bit. I just hate the villain redemption arc it's like just we don't have to redeem. Aquaman only has 2 bad guys. Like, you don't need to make one of them a good guy.
But you do.
You so don't.
Speaking of good guys, there's going to be a Lando Calrissian project still coming.
Yeah, someday.
Creator Stephen Glover suggests now that the Lando project for Disney Plus may now be a movie instead of a TV show.
So are we moving towards the end? We gonna stay in Star Wars world after this?
Yeah, if you've got
All
anything
right.
else before that,
N-
feel free to chime it in. Because I figured here we are
It's
at
fine. Dylan's excited because Black Man is getting his flowers. That's
uh,
fair.
I don't know what that means.
It means he's finally getting his just due in movies
Oh,
and
okay. Well then, yeah,
everywhere.
that's cool.
Look, Dylan, I don't know if you have, but go watch Young Justice. You get so much cool stuff with Black Manta in season 2.
A better Black Man. I mean, plays a good.
No, look, he's great.
Yeah,
Yaya is great.
yes, he is.
Um,
It's just
it's this. I have nothing against the actor or the way he's playing him. I just think the storyline's like
you know what
played out.
it's like. You know what it's like. It's like a character from a certain TV show that's gotten the greatest redemption in the world. But go ahead, what you were going to say about Lando?
Wow. So I don't know which one that is.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I think I'm starting to understand that Star Wars may be better in the theatrical release than it is consistently in the
You think so?
small screen. Yeah, I don't know that, and it goes back to again. I get concerned that we get too hung up on nostalgia and quick hits that we're not doing good writing with a lot of these things. And I would hate for Lando to fall down that same trap. But I think in a 2.5 hour movie, instead of having to stretch for, let's say, a 10 hour or 9 hour TV show, which is what we keep doing, we keep
Mhm.
taking like a movie worth of plot and going, we're going to stretch this into 8 episodes of TV.
Does that translate into what's coming next?
It does.
Okay.
And I think I'm worried that would happen with Lando if they don't totally twist it on its head and make it into what we were talking about before, where it's like Billy D talking about random adventures that he had, and you get that as the bookends to the show, and then it's Donald Glover going and doing Lando shit, you know, and just cool one-off stories and maybe some big story arcs, but like really just like old style one-off TV episode. You know what I mean? Like
Does he
that
flirt
would
with
be
his
cool.
daughter at all?
Maybe. I mean, Billy D can be, they can be hanging out. But getting those like just like that kind of thing, I think would be cool and
Yes.
something we haven't seen from it, but we won't get that. So I go with the movie and give us one story, but they're going to try and tie it back into the 3 things we know about Lando from this or that, and I think they're going to work really hard at that, which I think is to the detriment of where we're at in Star Wars land right now. Speaking of that, how's it?
Spoilers. It's spoiler time.
It
It
is.
we're gonna talk about Ahsoka now. So if you have not seen episode 5, and can't think that there's too many people out there that haven't seen this. This was one of the more talked about episodes, the episode that Rosario herself had said about a year ago that was her favorite episode of the whole series. Uh,
When's that one?
that passed already.
No, that couldn't have been this one.
Episode 5 was this one.
Oh,
That was the one that was last week. So if you haven't seen Ahsoka, dip out, come back, listen to the whole thing again, get up to this point. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that stuff. When we go live, you'll get a notification like Charles is always here and Dom and everybody else.
or when you listen the next day, you'll get a notification that the podcast dropped.
Boom, done. Now, let me ask you first, because I know where I'm at with this, and you're
No,
not.
I want to hear yours. Let's start with the good.
Okay. I thought it was sensational. I thought Hayden Christensen was excellent. I thought finally given the right dialogue to act, him being older now, he's got the nuance of the character down. I thought he did a great job. I thought they did a great job. I thought the transitions that they did for him. Um, I there's so many pluses to this episode for me. Young Ahsoka was great, and she was also, as Pete pointed out, young Gamora in Endgame, and she was also in the Barbie movie. I'm not sure what her role was, but she was also in the Barbie movie. So this little girl is knocking it out of the park all over. Seeing Anakin in his live action Clone Wars armor was awesome. Their fights were good. The story was great. I thought it told exactly what it needed to tell for this. This is the 53rd time that Ahsoka has almost died. It's the third. But I thought from start to finish, it had me the whole time. Now, what did you think?
Great. So good. So look, um, I will say from a callbacks to all of the Clone War stuff were great. I thought those effects were great. All of those, all of the love stuff for like all the history and all that was great, right? And it was obviously had Filoni's touch on it. Um, I just didn't understand why we had any of it.
That
Um,
yes, Pete, we agreed on something Star Wars. It's gonna
Clone Wars armor and Clone Wars hair. There you go. Yeah,
yes.
from Anakin. But like I don't understand why Ahsoka went to the place between worlds and needed to be talked back into fighting to live. Like that part made no sense to me at all. So I get it was a vehicle to do all these flashbacks and bring in Anakin, but I didn't think there was any reason for the story to do it. Like
I
that was my problem with. I was like, I don't know why I think it's cool, and I've watched the show, so like I saw this in the Clone Wars cartoon already, so like whatever. But like I don't think we developed Ahsoka's character on the show to the point where all of a sudden Ahsoka needed this. Let me relive my life and remember why I want to live. Like I never got that from Ahsoka on this show so far.
I think that a lot of that is this episode was a ton of fan service, as Dave always does,
100%.
and I think he's relying on you having seen these things more to understand this journey that she's on, and with her walking away from the Jedi and leaving Anakin and never really getting to say goodbye to him,
But it's been 30 years.
it has been for
No, like
yeah,
yeah, it's been 30 years since all that happened.
um,
We're
nodding
10 years
we're
ABY, right?
5 years past Return of the Jedi.
I thought we were farther than
Wait,
that.
now,
No. No,
oh,
that was when Mando started. This is 5 years after that. So we're at least 10 years. So we're close to 30 years since the last at least since the last time she saw Anakin.
okay, you're right. This is well, so it's about 10 to 15 years after Rebels and over 30 years since the events of the
Yeah,
Clone Wars. So her last sight of Anakin technically was the fight that Ezra pulled her out of.
right.
So that was you figure 10 years.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Look, like I said, I all this stuff was cool. I just don't I didn't get it for the story. I got it for the fan service, 100%. Cool,
Right.
great. Loved it.
Did you
I don't know what
enjoy
it did for the story.
did you enjoy the transition that Anakin was making the whole time? Like the walking transition was
Yeah, yeah. It also I also don't know why Anakin just dug in a lightsaber fought other than to have another lightsaber fight.
well, yeah. But
Like,
I think it was supposed to be a lesson. And I think so I originally I thought maybe, hey, this is all in Ahsoka's mind. But Jason Syndulla heard the lightsaber fight. So they were actually there actually fighting.
well, he's force sensitive too, so yeah.
He's big well, he's got some big time force powers if you can hear that,
Yeah,
right?
but then Hera could hear it too, so no,
Or is she force sensitive?
no, Hera's not force
You
sensitive.
sure?
Yeah, everybody doesn't have to be force sensitive. Ryan Johnson, shut up.
Fine. I'm okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Messed up, but I'm just asking a question. Asking a question. Um, aside from all the Clone Wars stuff, which I thought was great, like with her looking at him going, "This we're in the Clone Wars," and he turned around and he goes, "Yeah, no kidding." That was a serious nod to the fans, like saying, "Hey, you that haven't seen this, this is the Clone Wars, right?" Um,
Yeah.
getting a live action Rex was great, even though he didn't take his helmet off. I'm okay with it. Um, there was something else that happened in there that I wanted to bring up, and I forget now. Oh, the some of the dialogue was totally great. I'm not gonna fight you. Yeah, I've heard that before. Come on, that was directly from Luke, right?
Yes.
That was directly from Luke. That's great though. Like that you and again, Filoni's writing all these, so he knows where he's going and what he's doing. Is he drawing it out a little bit? A little bit, yeah.
Well, we got 4 episodes left, and we're
So
not really we haven't really moved in the story yet. We're, like, 5 minutes into the story,
we
5
got
episodes in.
4 so here's the thing, there's secrecy surrounding the ending of the show, um, and how it ties directly into Filoni's upcoming New Republic movie. So, he said there's still surprises coming this season. So, I
Like,
don't know.
surprised we're not actually gonna see Ezra-a-thon.
Well, so before that,
We have to
though,
wait 4 years to get them on screen.
getting the Princess Leia name drop was great. That was great.
Yeah, it makes 0 like,
Well, it makes sense.
that they yeah, it's annoying that they have to keep writing around the heroes of the Republic all the time.
Well, right, but, I mean, she's not there, so they can't even, like, they're not gonna hologram her in, like
I know, it's well, look, they could
and
recast her.
they have to acknowledge that she's there, right? Acknowledging that she's there in a line of dialogue connects it to those people.
Yeah, it's look, it's just it's tricky.
It is, it's a
And
it's
I don't
a
have a
very
problem with it.
fine line.
I just wish we didn't have to then leave out because the stories that I'd love to see are the story not the dickhead Luke that we introduced in Boba Fett, um, but like I'd love to see if we're gonna adapt Timothy Zahn stuff. Let's get into the stuff with Leia and Han from back then, and having
I agree.
twins, and like,
I
oh,
totally
let's go.
I totally agree with that.
That
Um,
stuff I'm like interested in
Ahsoka
more than whatever
Ahsoka
we're doing right
also
now.
showed the same kind of force power that Cal Kestis has, where she can
Yes,
see
the
the
memory thing.
force memories,
Yeah,
and that's how she figured out how we're gonna find them. I didn't have a problem with her talking to the Purgles, and then that calls back to, do you think when we got that scene in Mandalorian with Grogu looking over and seeing the Purgles flying, do you think that was them? Possibly.
yeah, probably.
Okay, that's nice, right? I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm grasping at straws with
It's
you.
fine. Dom has a question. Look, I said this stuff's great. I said all the fan service stuff was great.
I
I
loved it.
totally
I
get.
love their lightsaber fight.
I just don't understand the logic in the show behind why we got to all the fan service. Because again, I don't feel like we were at a point with Ahsoka where Ahsoka's like, I don't want to live anymore. I'm not
No,
gonna come back. But that's how it was sold.
it
Like,
was
you
sold
need to
like
come
that.
back. You need to fight to like. Did she? Like I
So, but when now if you look at the way she came back, and I see Dom's thing, I'll get to that in a second. When she comes back, she's now dressed in white like she was at the end of Rebels,
yeah.
and she seems lighter. I
But we
think they
didn't.
spent too long with her as a cranky, grumpy, arm folded, cranky thing to get to this point now where she's lighter and she's a little happier.
Well, they didn't tell us why. That
No,
like
it didn't.
we don't have a lot of time left on the show
No.
for them to tell us why. If we're doing it as TV,
We have 4 episodes.
yeah, but not we have Star Wars Disney Plus speed 4 episodes,
Oh,
which
that's
means like
like
we have
14
like
and a half.
maybe an episode of TV left,
Right. So I think next episode they're gonna get there. I think you're gonna see Thrawn and Ezra, the final 2 episodes is where we're gonna get them.
which is crazy that we're
It is.
waiting so
It
long
is
on
crazy.
Thrawn.
But, as for Dom's question, Dom, if you're making one yourself, that I don't know. If you're buying one of the characters' lightsabers, which you can buy, and they're not cheap at all.
Let's be honest, Dom needs a purple one.
You know, I could see Dom with a purple one. Um, I would even think, see, I'm an old school guy. I like the blue. I like the Luke one, the
Well,
original
it's
Obi-Wan
New
one.
York Giants colors.
That if you're making one yourself, here because I'm gonna be doing this in November myself. Make whatever color you want. They sell the crystals for $20 a pop after you get out of the place. You can buy any of the color crystals and swap them in and out. Although I suggest if you're going to swap them in and out, you light some candles, you kneel in a circle, and you kind of chant and like play some Star Wars music and then swap the crystal out.
Also, blue and red also make purple, so that covers all of the bases for
I
the giant
am.
colors. Just
I
saying.
asked someone this question about what color, and I was told I should get red.
No.
I think I'm gonna get a blue one, and I might buy, like, a red and purple
You're
one.
not gonna do a Kelly Green one?
No,
Hmm,
no. This is Star Wars, not Eagles.
I'm just saying.
No. Even though when Ray did get his BB-8, he got an evil BB-8, he made it Flyers colors, he made it black.
Look, the best Luke lightsaber is the green one.
True, but
So I'm
I
just saying.
like the Obi-Wan blue.
Hmm, I did until Obi-Wan.
I I hate you sometimes. I hate you
It
sometimes.
was almost as good as Ahsoka, but, not quite.
Oh, man. I damn. I thought the episode I would give the episode 5 out of 4 stars to me.
Oh, that's a
Yeah, I
lot.
really liked it.
Look, I'd still give it a 3. Like I said, the fan service stuff was great.
Can't
I just
argue with
don't know what it did to the actual story we were there for.
wait, 3 out of what?
4.
Okay. Okay. If you said 3 out of 10, I would have it then it's like,
Well,
what?
look, you gave it a 5 out of 4, so I figured I'd stick with your 4-star system that you're
Perfect.
already ignoring,
Yes, I will.
and I figured I'd go 3.
I'll
Look,
take a 3
I
out of
I
4.
barely fell asleep during this one, so that was a step up.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it.
But hey, everybody, as always, thanks for finding the Geek Spot. Frank's gonna watch some stuff this week.
Promise.
Yep, yep,
Promise.
yep. Otherwise, he's gonna owe Dom something.
Yep.
And we'll find the Geek Spot with you next week. And stop by, tell a friend, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye, everybody.